What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I am your host, Mystic Raven. Alright. Wow. Wow. I'm pretty this is sick. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is pretty cool. Got a couple new loads and everything, man. Alright. Let's go with the Elkin. Alright. Um Okay. They don't have a lot of the other options set up, but I see what they're doing with it. Alright. Nothing you can do with this yet, but I kind of like the load screen. Alright. Player worlds, starting worlds, faction versus faction, and guild versus guild. Okay. Alright. Alright, this is pretty cool. Alright. Okay, so that's the Eternal Kingdom, player worlds. Okay. Very cool. Nice. I'm feeling this. This is kind of cool. I like this new little load. They got to get the customization ported in. Hopefully we get more customization. That's always a good thing. Let's see what we got. No way. They actually got this? No, that's my... I was about to say. That's my phone. Feeding crows. Come on. Let's get in here. Okay. I'm a deer without antlers. Well, that is different. Okay, you no longer have to slot. Okay. I don't even want to do the missions. I want to get to the stuff. Give me something, you know. Okay, it looks like they actually bumped up some of the graphics too. Looks different too. So I'm kind of feeling this, man. So, okay, they upped the... That's kind of cool. Just leveled one of these, but... Yes. Okay, so they do have all legendary stuff. And I think maybe it's in the bank or the vault. We'll find out. Yes. Alright. Backer reward parcel. Woodland Creek. Great. Ugh. You know, you just think they just give you the gold and just let you go along your way. No. We're gonna have to play through it. Whoa. Good. Okay. Kind of a tutorial little dude, whatever. I like that layout for my bar. I'll have to switch that and whatever. I'll keep it there for now. It's kind of interesting. Some things I think is a lot cooler. I'd rather be on a testing the new updates, obviously. Everybody and their mother's probably here. Speaking of, we'll go over something here in a minute. Okay. 10 points. That's interesting. So that's very interesting. So instead of 4, we're getting 10. You know, let me go check out. Everybody's at the crafting. Okay. So they have the new necromancy stuff. And you can try all the crafting out as much as you'd like. Okay. We're going big. We're gonna need lots of stuff. First off, we're gonna have to slot a rune crafter and craft runes. So let's go up. All right. We'll go definitely with rune. And we're gonna need an armor smith. We'll craft up everything as much as possible. I mean, I'm not gonna keep whatever. You'll almost whatever. I wonder if you can get every mat too. That becomes a good question. Becomes the question. I'm seeing without leveling, I can't do anything, so I'm gonna have to level anyways. Hey man, did he take my stuff or no? Not equipped. Won't take my money. Frigate. Go with the regular. Okay. Looks like you might be able to just skip through that quest now. It's making me wonder if you could have to begin with. I just always followed it in line. Oh well. We're gonna try a lot of stuff. I just hate going through the quest line again. I mean, I know they want us to test it in a certain way, but and I like the little tutorial. It looks a lot cleaner too in some ways. Definitely, you know, I'm feeling this one a little bit better. Can't go to that quest. I know what that quest is. I'm not ready for that one yet. I also want to get my butt handed to me. Okay. Looks pretty sick. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh. Feel weird without my antlers and customization. Oh well.
Ah.
Okay. That's kind of a nice little boost. It's still the same, but the way it's been leveled is slightly different. So that's kind of cool. Oh.
Ah.
Okay, that's the tree I just chopped down, and now it's highlighted. I think they should start, like, letting people pick out gear based on, you know, what race they are for the turn-ins. That's what they should do. Really. That's what needs to happen. Saying what? So are you going to become a Crowfall channel? I'm definitely going to be playing it, streaming it. I'm promoting it for sure. Because it's PvP. I have been a little, like, since everything's happened, since pandemic, I've been paying attention to like everything, else other than gaming. And I was playing Magic the Gathering Arena, and I still do, but it's not a lot of content to cover. So, I played a couple hands online, but, some content creators just aren't doing well as MMOs, It's just MMOs have a lot more depth, a lot more content to cover. You can have multiple content creators in an MMO. Why? Because there's so much, you can get, like, so much more from each content creator. You can pick multiple people's heads about the changes or the different classes they're playing, or if a game has PvE or whatever. Like Final Fantasy 14, my biggest thing about covering that game wasn't any story spoilers, but I'll try not to, but like setting up my macros and my play style, and DCUO, I love DC. I always go over my, how I'm configuring, or little tips for players that are playing. So I like covering a lot of games. I was typically, when I first started, I became a content creator because of ESO. Not, that I really wanted to be a content creator initially, but I was kind of just put in a scenario where the current content creators weren't doing things. Oh, there's the Crowpedia. Oh, dude, okay. Oh, yes! 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 Absolutely! Yes! Awesome! Awesome! Yes! I'm feeling this. I am definitely feeling this. Absolutely. I was just talking about this today. They darkened up some of the icons too. I mean, nothing major, but it's still the same. I haven't changed much. I think Champion got a nerf. I've got to test it, but, yeah, no, this is cool. This is definitely cool. I'm feeling on this for sure. But yeah, no, I like, sometimes do I miss the Elder Scrolls? Yeah, to an extent. I guess a part of you, like, I covered Elder Scrolls for 3 years, right? 3 or 4 years. I covered Elder Scrolls, and I loved it. I loved ESO, but the biggest thing about it was the devs kind of let me down, and when they decided to go with a linear system, they went to a system I could no longer endorse, the whole idea that it was still, you didn't have to follow a certain, build or have to do it a certain way. There was ways to, it was the numbers and different values, but now, if you want, to be, competitive, as far as min-maxing, now there's no indifferent values. There's no, way to, sag here and gain there, and, you're still in the competitive number range. That's no longer the case. And then PvP just kept getting put on the back burner. Now you got trial gear being flooded in proc sets, being flooded into Cyrodiil. That's even worse. Even with the new champion system, I don't feel it's enough. I don't feel like, what the damage they've done. The damage they've done is pretty severe. It's severe. It's not even a little. It's a lot. It's a lot. And of course, Final Fantasy 14. I love Final Fantasy 14. But after, you know, I get so much and I'm doing whatever for my weeklies, for my, you know, my raids and stuff. After that, you know, I kind of get bored with the raids because I know once I collect my gear, unless you're going for glamour, which, you know, it's whatever if you want to go for glamour. The biggest problem with that is the PvP sucks. So then I'm left kind of hanging here, you know? And then I'm like, I need a PvP game, man. And then I'm like, you know, a lot of ESO players right now, I know they're frustrated. They're frustrated. I don't blame them. I mean, I really don't. I think that's one of the biggest things is I actually feel for the ESO players, man. I really do. Because, you know, we lost so many content creators as it is anyways. So, I kind of find this interesting because I think the stat adjustments based on class now with a few points to spend towards you want, and I think the racial stats aren't as significant. Okay. All right. I mean, it's just it's kind of cool. They brought the cap down significantly. They got tired of people building the same shit. I mean, crap. Sorry. Too old. What's going on, bro? Not much, dude. ESO's making big changes. I saw that. I've been paying attention. And finally, new servers. Yeah, well, Microsoft owns it. You know that was going to happen. And finally, you can be viable without trial gear. The new champ system changes everything. They are frustrated mostly with server issues, and that from the devs perspective I understand that. Microsoft took over. Microsoft's going to put that on their servers. They'll have the best servers. They will, and it's much needed, and I'm happy for them. I really am. But it still doesn't change. Like, the new champion system will be big in a lot of ways, especially towards PvP. It'll make an impact. I mean, I was watching Fang Rush's you know, overview last night. And a lot of things I agreed with, like what he was saying. Like, it'll have impact, but is it going to change, you know, those proc sets? You know, it'll make them less, because, you know, optimization, and I agree with him on that. I absolutely 100% agree. Absolutely. Will it stop it? No. No. ESO made its bed. It made its bed. They kept putting PvE in front of PvP. They kept doing it. They kept doing it. They're not getting rid of those extra stats from the trial sets. I went over it. It's just like it is what it is. You can't change an extra stat. You know, when you put on a perfected weapon or perfected gear, and now the jewelry, the way it's set up, you're getting 3 extra stat boosts that you never had prior to the configuration. And that is a significant problem. That's even going to be more prevalent, more noticeable with the new champion system, even though they have where you can individualize abilities. with the new champion system, which I find is great. I actually love that idea. I love the new champion system idea. I think it's amazing. I do. I think the new server upgrades, amazing. I have no problem with Brian. I think Brian knows what direction the game needs to go. And I'm with Brian on that. But let's not kid ourselves. Let's not be delusional enough to believe that that's going to change the state of PvP. Yeah, performance in PvP in Cyrodiil is going to be amazing. It'll be simply amazing finally. It's going to be the best. It's going to be the best it's ever been. But in Battlegrounds, you know, yeah. It's going to be, like, I'll be honest. I might just stop in for BGs. I could do that. But am I going to anticipate the, you know, the sets changing, or, you know, the werewolf? Because I didn't see anything on that note to address those issues. I mean, we know Vampire got the adjustment on the last update, which is cool. Okay, cool. But I just don't see it happening. I've been playing with the new champ system on the PTS. It's nice, yeah. I imagine it is. You know, and that's the thing. I'm gonna give it up. I'm gonna give it up to them, but I'm gonna be real. We're going to be 100%. It is what it is. And here's the thing: the state of PvP in ESO doesn't change with its champion system. It doesn't. It doesn't change on server performance. It doesn't. It won't. The state of PvP in ESO has been set from the PvE. And until they bring out sets and a progression system for PvP that matches PvE, it will always be it'll always be where you're gimping on PvE to PvP. The PvP reward system is not there. It isn't. And players have to PvE to be competitive in PvP. That's why I'm promoting this game. And I think I don't think a player should have to do content they don't want to be competitive. I don't think that should be a PvP. If you want to be a PvPer, even World of Warcraft, even WoW has separated that element of the game, and ESO can't. You know, I've always said every chapter should have a new PvP feature. Every chapter should have new PvP gear, new PvP progression. Every chapter, why? Because it promotes PvPers to get it as well. It promotes both elements of the game, and you separate it. Besides leveling up, a PvPer should not be forced to PvE to be competitive. That's just my belief. And ESO is, for years, that's the way it's been, but it's just gotten to the point where it is what it is. I mean, we've even had PvP abilities be, having to, be relevant in PvE. Right? We know that's true. We know that's true. How many times have we had to use PvP abilities to do, whatever? We know that. AoE effects, all this stuff. The Siege in Cyrodiil has always been my favorite, but it's been underplayed. It has been an underplayed, factor. Dude, I just did this. That's a bug. I shouldn't have to, do that twice. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, that's a bug. That's that's a bug. Oh, that's a buggy. Did I bug my game?
Hey!
Damn it, George. That sucks. Alright, hold on. Yeah, that's a bug. I knew that was a little weird when I did it. I knew that was a little weird. You can get within 3 to 5% damage of high-end trial build. Okay. The werewolf is fine where it's at. They got balanced a while ago. Dude, I just watched Nolan. Like, it's not balanced. It is not balanced. I was watching Nolan's stream last week. It is so not balanced. You can be competitive in PvP with the PvE gear and the crafted sets. No, you won't have a cancer build. Yes, they need to focus on the siege system in big boy PvP. I agree. I was hoping for cross save for ESO so I can play it on other systems. Yeah, well, maybe eventually. Maybe. I mean, I'd like to. I like where you're going with that. I do. I mean, I do. You know, but let's get real. They're never going. They're never going. You know, it's been PvPers have been begging for years. The last couple of years, Morrowind was our last hope. With the BGs, was our last hope that they finally understood what we were asking for. And then what happened on the last 2 chapters? Nothing. More cancer. What happened? You know, they go ahead and throw, you know, Relic into Cyrodiil. Right? That's what they did. You know? Oh, okay. I got the next quest line, I think. So I'm good. But that's what they did. And they really did not address any of the things that we've been asking for. They haven't. They haven't. And I played both aspects of the game. But when I come out with certain builds, and over half my builds, over majority of my builds actually, I'd say like 70% of my builds are cancer, because that's how you have to keep up, it makes me disgusted. And now, nobody's coming out with different content. Look at the PvPer content. Despotic, months gone. El Lobo, months gone. Fang Rush, who's the most active, isn't, you know, putting out a lot of new builds. Why? Why? Because it is what it is. We know it's to be true. We know it is. And I'm tired. And I think a lot of players are. We're fed up. Server performance isn't going to take care of that. A new CP system isn't going to take care of that. What's going to take care of it? Nerf PvE or raise PvP. That's what fixes those issues. That's the only thing that does fix those issues. You know, I want Elder Scrolls to succeed every day of the week. If they would do it, I would go back. I've said this multiple times. I'll go back once you address the issue. You don't want to address it? No. I handed out all my rares because why? Because I knew where it was going to go. Even the top PvPers are sick of it. can't keep defending what it is. Man, that thing is just running around willy-nilly. Okay, they put a new animation in there too. This little bastard! Stupid cleric. It's like, get away, get away, get away. No, like this game, it's not going to have PvE content. If this is as much PvE as you're going to get. Farming for, like, thralls. For, you know, material and discs. That's as much PvE as you're going to get. Everything else is about the craft. Everything else is about the PvP. And it's about time I play a game that says, hey man, we're about only one thing here. And that's PvP. We're not going to distract people with unnecessary content that don't want the PvE to be playing a PvE game. I don't want to keep playing PvE games when I have a slew of PvE games. If in my in-between time, I want to play PvP. That's what I want. I'm so frustrated with ESO. And no, even though I like Brian, I like Rich, I like Matt, I like all those guys. I really, really do. I'm just sick. Werewolf is an ultimate. It's meant to be powerful. Yes, Werewolf is OP in Battlegrounds, but fine in Big Boy PvP. Dude, Nolan was in there. 2 werewolves was just bleeding him out, man. He had to like keep moving. Because as soon as you get stunned and you get bleeded, unless you have a cleanse, you're SOL with a proc. You know that. Come on, man. Come on. Let's stop. Let's stop. If it's an ultimate, that's whatever. But seriously, I don't mind the duration. But that bleed with proc is just ridiculous. But Battleground was never meant to be a balanced PvP arena. So must cancer in Battleground. They have thousands of sets, no way to balance them all. Not right, but that's what I'm trying to say. They made their bed. They made it. I agree with you. I agree with you. But they made that bed. And even now with stat stacking, unless they raise the level, unless they do it, how are they going to address it? There's no way to do it. There is no way. That's what I'm trying to get at, you know? At the end of the day, one of the things that, you know, bothers me about ESO is they didn't realize what they did. And then, of course, then PvEers would complain, well, people are PvPing to get those stats to PvE. Well, I've always said the way they need to do it, right, is literally make it where it's more PvP specific, right? It is there's like, when you get a weapon in any trial or arena, you know, there's an effect that usually affects the ability. Make those, you know, those skill lines in PvP relevant to the weapons, and add new skills and add the progression system based on those. Why? Because it's not going to affect the PvE as dramatically. Yeah, some people might incorporate it like they always have, but it won't be it'll give a little more separation to the game. But you know what? It is what it is. You know, it's just like I said. I think the new system they have looks amazing. It looks amazing. I'm happy Brian did it. I'm happy. I was happy to hear about the servers. I was so pumped about so many things about ESO. And honestly, think about it from this perspective. Microsoft owning the company now, you know the new Elder Scrolls title is going to be phenomenal. Even if they have to redo the engine or scrap it altogether, it will be phenomenal. I mean, it's Microsoft. You know? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That is different. That is crazy. Okay. So maybe they took away the one gate and maybe forcing us into a PvP. I don't know. I think they might be forcing us into a PvP with this new update. To be more, you know, once you get up to 18, well, now you level in PvP. Good luck. Boom. I don't know. We'll see. You can heal through the bleeds. Oh, come on, man. Seriously. But the proc still hit off of dot, man. All you can do is split the gear between PvP and PvE. But there's been no progression towards PvP. That's the problem. They keep funneling everything into PvE. Everything. And the more toxic it's gotten, the more people are fed up. Look, dude. I'm just saying, it is what it is. It's a fact. No PvPers are not covering content in ESO. Fact or not fact. That's the truth. That is the truth. Everybody's trying to look for a new PvP title. That's the truth. ESO messed up. That's the truth. They're not going to fix it until they address it. That's the truth. You know, that is the truth. And the way I look at it, if I can get PvPers to come over to a PvP game, I'll do it. I'll do it. Because I like DCUO. I love DC. It's just not enough content in a PvE game. And it's good. I love the combat system in DC. But the PvP sucks. I love Final Fantasy XIV. I love Final Fantasy XIV. But the PvP sucks. I love Phantasy Star Online. I love the combat system. I love the how, you know, different the class system is. But the PvP sucks. So, once again, we're coming back to the same question. Where are PvPers going to play a PvP game that isn't being infected by PvP? Well, you have an option. You can go to World of Warcraft, who has it separated and has been separated, except, you know, after Mist of Pandera, I think there was a moment in time between there and Cataclysm that they kind of messed up. That's when I left. And I really didn't like it. Or you could go to ESO and PvP in there. Or you can go to an order game like DAOC, right? But where are a lot of PvPers having to do, man? They have to go to games that either it's not their playstyle. BDO, Black Desert Online, it's a PvP game. Right? It's amazing. The graphics are simply phenomenal. But it is a grind. It is an insane grind fest. To just get there. This game, it's not that bad. I can level a dude in one day, PvP the next day. So, because the stick with the play how you want motto. It has issues, no issues for sure. I don't care what content creator left. I don't play games based on content creators. Well, I understand you. PSO 2 PvP is decent. Almost also most balanced PvP. I haven't got to try the PvP in it. I didn't like Phantasy Star Online PvP. I was like, it's a beautiful combat system, but I don't like the boards. I don't like the class system, the way the class systems are set up against each other. In that PvP, it's horrible. It's god awful. I mean, the PvE, Phantasy Star kicks butt in PvE. I haven't tried it in 2 yet. So, but like this game, I have the most control. I come from a generation where I played UO. I could build how I wanted to, right? I was limited by how many skill points I had, not what I took, right? I played Star Wars Galaxies, the same principle. I could build how I wanted to based on how many skill points I had, not what class or how to build it, right? And in this game, yeah, it's class based, and yeah, it has a tree system, but I control my stats and my build based on what? How many points I have and what gear, how I slot my gear and what disciplines I take. I can pick different disciplines based on which direction I go in. That's more control right now than most games. ESO, in my opinion, has just as good customization as this game. It does. The problem with ESO is what? It's gear based. The proc sets, the stat stacking, it's gear based, not stat based. It's gear based. There's a difference. And there lies the problem. Therein lies the problem. It is what it is. Cyrodiil, the mechanics is fine in Cyrodiil. Like the siege system itself, BGs, the way they structured BGs, phenomenal. Phenomenal. And now with better servers, oh my gosh, yeah, I agree. But let's not take away from what ESO is. ESO is not a stat-based game, it's a gear-based game. And because of that, the PvP has gotten out of control. Champion points ain't fixing that. Adding a linear system to an open-ended game was a horrible, horrible idea. And I'll bet you I know where that idea came from. And you and I both know, we know where it came from. Do we not? We know where it came from. Phantasy Star Online 2, you start with no gear, so the overpowered players don't dominate. Yeah, well, that makes sense. Yeah. But like I said, I'm just coming back to the whole idea, like, ESO PvP has been dying. It is dying. It's on life support. And Microsoft ain't rehabilitating that bitch. The new champion system isn't rehabilitating that bitch. And if I could take some ESO players, I'm gonna do it. I'll do it. Why? Because they deserve a PvP game. That's what they deserve. They deserve a PvP game. They don't deserve to have to keep going in PvE to be competitive. They don't deserve that. That shit, I mean, that stuff, that shouldn't have to happen anymore. It shouldn't have to. You know? The cries were called out for years. They were called out for years. And now this has probably got 6 months down the road before it's launched. And you don't think players are going to come to this? Yeah, no, this is the next PvP MMO. I think Camelot Unchained has potential, but when's Mark going to get it out? We don't know. We don't know. You know? So, your PvP options are kind of thin. You know? And I honestly think if people have a PC, especially with the new console prices, for the new console price, you spend $100 more, you can have a rig. You can have a gaming rig. You know? At that point, it's about preference, not about title. You know? Alright. Actually, I do want to put this right here. Of course, I didn't get that. They said this will take you up to level 18 now. That's what they say. I got one exploration. But I honestly, but like I said, if ESO changes it, I'll go back. $700. Yeah, no, dude. I mean, I'm just saying, you can get a decent rig, dude. Like this rig I have here, I think I have maybe 1100 into it, but that's because I upgrade the graphics card, upgrade the RAM. But my Mobo was $300. My FX processor was like 100 and something. So right there it was like 400. And those two main components, right? Getting operating system SD. You can build a computer. You can build a computer, a gaming rig for $700, $800. GPU is the biggest part where it's going to cost. Your preference on GPU. You can get affordable GPU. I can link you a rig build that'll play most games for around $800. $700, $800. So nobody's going to tell me, oh, well, yeah, blah, blah, blah. No. Why? You know? About it. Now, don't get me wrong. The price point margin to do everything what the console is, yeah, it probably would cost you about $1,200 to build that type of same almost same preferences into a PC. I agree with that. But here's the deal. You can always upgrade a PC. You can. Based on the motherboard. You know? You can always upgrade. You can always upgrade your GPU. You can depending on your chipset, you can always upgrade the CPU, I just think it's time that a lot of players start asking themselves, why are you holding on to a game that they don't listen? Why? You like PvPing. ESO graphics? Amazing. Simply amazing. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It's a PvE game. It was a PvE/PvP game. Now it's a PvE game with PvP. It is even worse than WoW. WoW's always been that, but this is worse because that PvE is affecting PvP.
Oh.
Even World of Warcraft realized we can't do this. No, you cannot. ESO has not learned that. They have not. The last 2 years. The last 2 years. They've dropped the ball for PvP. They have dropped the ball. Is that excusable? Are we justifying it? No, we can't. We cannot. I like them. I'm not saying I don't. But let's be honest. Let's get real. They put PvPers on the back burner for the last 2 years. And they're going to say, oh, well, we offered you a new class for PvP. That was not what we wanted. We wanted content for PvP, and we wanted these issues addressed. Regardless of the performance issues. Regardless of it. You know? And then what do you throw? You throw relics on us? Like, what? That's your idea of content? Let's just throw, a relic on here. It has nothing even to do with the chapter. Nothing. You know what would have been cool? Maybe. Well, they added maybe new maps and battlegrounds. I'll give them that. I will give them that. I will give them that. But make it, make something, they could have came out with something besides Cyrodiil. Like gates or something. Not like, BGs, but, different, like tournaments. Everybody's been asking for tournaments. Like player-created tournaments. Like a place, to go to be able to do that or something. There's so many things they could have done. There's so many things that they could have done. But they didn't. They just kind of like threw them a bone. Oh, yeah, we got it. And I've always said, though, you wanna sell anything to both people, man. That's one thing WoW always did. I'll tell you what. It always made me mad that most games always did, like, put their PV. If you wanted to upgrade your PvP, you had to get the expansion, even if you weren't going to do the PvE. Why? Because the new maps, the new gear levels, all that stuff was incorporated. So... I think Ashes of Creation would be the biggest new PvP MMO. It's good. Listen, I'm not going to knock Ashes of Creation. I just think it's not going to be... I tested it. And the graphics look good. The combat's good. It just wasn't what I expected it. And I was like, oh, no. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm not. But once again, I didn't get this feeling that it had a lot of control elements, right? Coming from, like I said, Star Wars and ESO, I want personalization. I want to be able to control my character and mold it. That's what I want. Why? Because this way, if I mess up, it's on me. I can fix it. And I don't feel like Ashes is quite there. And I think it could get there. It could. And like I said, it's going to be a great title. Regardless. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying to keep up in the genre when you have Crowfall, Ashes of Creation, and Camelot Unchained all coming out. Ashes of Creation's whole gimmick is the node system. Right? That's its thing. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know how well it's going to do. I think ESO better get on it, because here's the thing. I've always said if ESO would get their acts together, no matter what game comes out, they're not going to be able to compete. Especially now. Especially with Microsoft, giving them here, we're going to bring you onto our servers. Yay! We've now addressed, the champion system. We heard about that 2 years ago. Yay, yes. But guess what? We still have stat stacking. We still have all these proc sets. We still have a 1-bar creature that's going to deal 50,000 damage before you can even mess up, before you can do anything. You know, you're kind of just there. And you're a werewolf fan, so of course you're going to defend it. But, you know, whatever. I'm just saying, like, and like the shield rotation, they still haven't even fixed some bugs that's been in the game from launch. They still haven't addressed some exploits that we've seen from launch. You know? I've always said they need to get off balance, you know, where it actually pulls people from block. So they can't perma block. Like, once you see an off balance, it literally, a player cannot block. You know? I've said there's easy ways to get around perma block builds if they would put in a counter mechanic. But they haven't addressed it. You know? It is what it is. Better combat, better graphics, but 64 classes is a balancing nightmare. Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I can't say which direction Ash is going to go. It is beautiful. It is a beautiful game. It is. You know? But once again, when I played it, I was like, I don't know. It's so early. I'm not feeling it. I see the potential, but you know, it might be too early for me to tell. I mean, you don't want to say anything bad because there's nothing really bad to say, but you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you just want to be objective. You're like, I could see it, but we'll have to see. It's like you said, you know? Bro, Dragon Knights, Snipe Spammers, Soft CCs are a werewolf snipe. Oh, man. Dude, but listen, man. Okay. Seriously, though? I mean, dude, I came out with a werewolf tank that was dealing a quarter less damage and the speed factor, you know, in the lunge. Come on, man. There's the gap closing on werewolf is fine so long as it doesn't get melted down by like some cancer proc. You're a werewolf fan. Admit it. Just admit it. Just admit it. You're justifying it. I'm not saying you're wrong on the other cancer. I'm not saying you are wrong. You know that. But you are justifying the werewolf's cancerness. Admit it. You'll feel better. You're like, it's balanced. No, it's not. Stop it. And I'm not saying you're wrong about the other classes. I'm not saying that. I agree. I agree with you. But look at, like, you know, you always get, you know, some kind of weird rotation with every update, right? But Sorks have always been able to maintain. Let's get real. Sorks, every update has been competitive. Right? And what you see certain classes take a seat back. Mage Blade's taking a couple back. You know, Sandblade even has, to be honest with you. You know? Stamplar. We've seen Stamplar go through it. Right? We've seen it. Stamsork needs some love. I've said, but you know what? Fang Rush breaks out of Stamsork. I like that new little teeth graphic little thing. That's new. That's kind of cool. This game will be fine. And I'm telling you, a lot of people will be playing this. It has C. The only thing about it is net performance. If they can't do it, it's an ESO all over again. Every PvP build in ESO has a weakness to assert other builds, telling you how to counter them. Bro, I get it. Clearly, you haven't tried the new vampire. I haven't. And I agree with you. I'm just saying I've watched some streams and I've seen the same things going on. You know, I'm just saying. But you take care, brother. I appreciate it. But when we take a look, like I said, if people want to, we can't keep defending stuff and justifying everything. We can't keep doing that. If we do that, that's what gets us here in the first place, right? I'm not disagreeing with anything anybody's saying in point. I'm just saying we have to address issues, because if we don't address issues, then what? It never gets changed out. Like, seriously. I thought werewolf changes were a necessity, but to theme it to have a 1-bar crazy 80,000, 100,000 rotation all without a swap, with permaform was ridiculous. Almost, well, not exactly permaform, but almost. That's ridiculous. That was ridiculous. It was completely ridiculous. So, Zoss, man, I swear, I was so mad. I was so upset. Bringing back bad memories for me. Terrible memories. And then taking a look at perfected gear on the PTS, man, Like, I still remember doing the trial, and they're like, should we be going, I'm like, I don't even want to do it anymore. Like, there's no build, and I remember my last video, besides giving it out, I'm like, you can't get around it. You can't. You cannot get around it. There's no way to anymore. There's none. There is no indifferent value, because now we have a best in slot. When both prior we didn't, and then seeing it filter down into PvP, I couldn't. It was done. From that point on, it was over. It was over for me. It broke my heart. It literally broke every little bit of what I loved about ESO and trashed it. And I'll never ever be able to look at it the same. Ever. Never. that they took an open-ended game and put a linear setup in it. It was just it broke every little bit of me. You know, as a content creator, I just couldn't endorse it. But, you know, do I wish the community the best? Yes. Do I wish the devs the best? Yes. Do I want anything bad to happen for the game? No. If people enjoy ESO, then have fun. You know, I've said that about any game. If you enjoy a title, do it. Play it. You know, I would never trash titles or trash whatever. I just know me as a player, me as a content creator, and I just realized that, you know, there's no going back unless, you know, those issues are addressed. And it's not just me saying it. And that's the thing. It'd be one thing if it was just me. But it's not. It's not. It isn't. And that is the thing. You know, it's like seeing World of Warcraft players, you know, during Mr. Pandera, just keep justifying it. Alright? And then Cataclysm, oh, we're glad we stuck it through. It was so worth it. That last expansion was so trash. But now they've redeemed themselves. And it's like, you played an entire year of trash and kept paying Blizzard because of what? Because you were afraid to try something else? Dude, seriously? No. I was gone. I bought it. I tried it. I hated it. I come back for Kata. I was like, okay, you know, whatever. Am I going to raid as much? No. Because why? I'm tired of getting into that stuff. I get in ESO. Why? Because the trials were a perk. They weren't something that really, you know, was a make or break. You know, if you want to do it, do it. Okay. There's some rewards there, and they kind of helped with that reward system. But it gets so toxic. I knew where it goes. People were like, min-max, best in slot. There was, first off, there. But then when they did that, yeah, that's a fact. Anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you guys. Thank you to Old Dudes for stopping out. If you guys don't know him, go check him out in his channel. I always promote and keep the love flowing. But as always, I'm Mr. Craven. This is Mystics MMOs. Have a nice day.